Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing really good. In today's video, I'm going to talk about eyeshadow application and all the do's and don'ts, and also I'm going to tell you guys what kind of brushes you can use and what brushes I personally use to serve different purposes. So yes, if you're interested, then keep on watching. So the first step is priming your eyelids. In my opinion, priming your eyelids is like really important. What a primer does is it kind of helps your eyeshadows from creasing, and it also provides like clear canvas to work with your eyeshadows. We all got the discoloration on top of the eyelids, so priming helps you to get rid of the discoloration, and even the eyeshadows apply more pigmented, more vibrant on top of your eyelids. So there are many eyeshadow primers available in the market outside India. Yes, in India I can say we just got handful. There is one eyeshadow base from Ingot, which is pretty good. I've used it in the past. That one do the thing. And you can also use MAC Paintpots as an eyeshadow base because they come in like variety of shades. You can use them as an eyeshadow base. And there is one more eyeshadow primer from Essence, I believe. You can buy that from Amazon or Flipkart. And if you cannot reach any of this, I've got you covered, guys, because I use this on myself personally. If you watch my videos, you know that I use my concealer on top of the eyelids. I apply the concealer all over my eyelid and I set it with some flesh toned eyeshadow or with my compact. And there comes setting. Setting your primer is also important, guys, especially when you are using a concealer as a primer, because concealers tend to crease. So make sure you set that with your compact or any flesh toned eyeshadow. If you got like super oily lids and you're working with both eyes at a time, just dab your eyelid with your finger one more time before you apply that powder or eyeshadow on top of the eyelids. Otherwise it is going to crease in your folds and it is going to set like that. So most of the times I use a flesh toned eyeshadow to set the concealer, and I apply that all over the eyelid till the brow bone. And this one not only helps you to set the concealer, but it kind of acts as a transition color. So there comes the second step, which is using a transition color when you're using like more than one eyeshadow on top of your eyelids. So most of us think like, why you have to apply two more colors before you actually go with your desired color, like a desired dark deep shade in the crease? Because if you apply the dark shade directly into the crease, it is going to give you like a really patchy look and it is not going to blend properly. But if you use like a transition color in the crease, that is going to make your dark shade blend easily, and it also gives you that beautiful transition. So it is not going to look like one deep dark color tone in the crease. So I'm going to show you guys what brushes I use to apply the transition color in the crease and what brushes I use to blend them. So you see me using these brushes a lot. One of them is this Real Techniques base shadow brush. Don't mind, guys, my brushes are all dirty. So this one comes in the starter kit. So I use this one to apply transition color in the crease and to blend that out. I do not use this to apply a darker color because this is a proper blending brush. This one is like a really fluffy brush and it got the tapered end to it. So it picks up like a good amount of product. I'm not going to say you can use this for an intense application, for intense crease work. This is not meant for that. So you can take a little bit of color and you can apply that in the crease and you can blend with the same brush. So this is what I use for transition colors. So this one is also from Real Techniques. This is also base shadow brush. I think the packaging is different and I think this is from a different range, I believe, but this is the same. This is exactly the same and they do the same work. And the next brush is also from Real Techniques. This is their angled shadow brush. This is like this one got beautiful angle and this is also a fluffy one. I do not use this to apply the transition color or any color. I just use this to blend colors in the crease. And the one more brush I use for blending and applying transition color is this one from Body Shop. This is called Eyeshadow Blender. This one is like a fluffy flat tapered brush. That is the best I can come up with. So yeah, this one is also a blending brush. I use this to blend the eyeshadows in the crease. So after all the transition colors, I use like a dark deep shades to really contour my eyelid, like to really provide the dimension and depth to the eyelid. And for that I use these brushes. These are more good for concentrated works in the crease. Like I've got like really little crease space to work with, so I use small crease brushes a lot. So the first one is this MAC 219 brush, which is their pencil brush. I use this a lot in my tutorials. This is a dome shaped brush, as you can see. This is like really good to pack the color in the crease. This is like a really dense brush and it picks like a good amount of eyeshadow, and I use this to pack the color in the crease and also in the outer corner. And I use one more brush for the same purpose, which is from Zoeva. It is 231 Luxe Petite Crease Brush. They both kind of look similar, but this one is more big and fluffy than this one. This is like more concentrated, more smaller brush, but this one is a little more bigger. You can apply this, you can apply the eyeshadow in the crease, and at the same time you can just do a little blending with this one. I mostly use this to apply color in the crease and in the outer corner. And one more brush which does the job, but I do not use this as I use these ones. This is from Kryolan. I think this is their 9720. I'm not sure, that is the number they have got here. So this is like a more bigger, fluffier and dense crease brush. If you got like a really good amount of crease space to work with, you can go for these kind of brushes. As you can see, MAC one is like really small when you compare with this one. I've got like a little crease space to work with, so this would be like a really big one for me, so I do not tend to use this a lot. I sometimes use this just to pack the color on the outer corner, but I do not use this in the crease. And one more brush which is new in my collection is from Makeup Geek. This is their Define Crease Brush. This is like a really teeny tiny brush. This one is fluffy and at the same time it is tapered at the end. This one is like really fluffy. You can do a lot of blending with this one in the crease, and I also use this one for my lower lash line. And there comes blending. Blending your eyeshadows is like the major and crucial step when you're doing makeup, because if you do not blend your eyeshadows properly, that is not going to give you the desired look, and it is really going to look patchy and unflattering. So these are the same brushes which I use for blending, nothing fancy. One thing you have to keep in mind is you have to blend at each and every step. Apply your eyeshadow in the crease, go with the blending brush, do some blending, and then reapply if required. Otherwise, if you just take a lot of product at once and you throw it in the crease, it will be like really difficult for you to blend. At the same time, it is going to look patchy, uneven, and you might end up with a lot of product in your crease. So that is not going to look really flattering. So make sure you blend the eyeshadow first and then reapply. That way you can actually understand how much more product you need to apply in the crease or on the outer corner. And for the overall blending, I use these 4 brushes. As you can see, I've done the crease work on this eye, and at this moment I really like to go with one of these brushes and just give it a quick blend so that there won't be any harsh edges. And also when I apply the highlighter on my brow bone, I really like to go with one of these brushes and give it a quick blend. This one is from 3 Concept Eyes. I bought this from Luxora when they used to ship to India, but unfortunately they don't do now. This is 3 Concept Eyes 15 brush. This is like a beautiful round fluffy brush. That's the best I can come with. And this one is a Colorbar blending brush. This is like the same. I also use this brush. I've got two of these. I also use this brush for my concealer. This one works really good with cream products. And this one is from Makeup Geek. This is their soft dome brush. This one is like really fluffy, very soft, like very gentle on top of the eyelids. Like it does the work so good. So I really like to use for quick blending. And next comes is applying your actual lid color. Make sure you use a proper way to pack the color on top of your eyelids. And as I've said before, even primer really helps your eyeshadows to look more vibrant and intense. But if you still feel like it's not up to the mark, or if you're working with like really low pigmented eyeshadows, like sheer eyeshadows, you can do one thing. Try to use the same color eyeshadow crayons or even eyeliners on top of the eyelid, and then go with the actual lid color. That will help your eyeshadow really pop. And also if you're working with like light color eyeshadows, and if you feel that they're not pigmented enough, they're not showing enough on top of your eyelid, try to use a white color base. A lot of people use NYX jumbo pencil, NYX jumbo pencil and white, but it is not easily available in India. But we have the cheaper option, which is Lakme Iconic Kajal. This is in white, so you can use this as a base and go over with the actual lid color on top of this. This will help your eyeshadow pop and look like true to its color. So you can also try one more thing. If you feel like you're not getting right pigmentation out of an eyeshadow, just try to apply it with a wet brush, like just damp the brush with some water, do not dip into the water. So try and apply it with a damp brush, you might get more intensity out of an eyeshadow. And this technique is also good when you're using and when you're working with eyeshadow pigments. Try to apply it with a wet brush, it will reduce the fallout. There won't be like no fallout, it's nothing like that. You will be having a fallout, but it will help you to reduce the fallout, that's it. And coming to the glitters, I have a mixed feeling about using a wet brush to apply the glitter, because that one never worked for me. I always use Ingot Duraline to apply the glitter, or you can use a glitter glue if it is available for you, or you can use this Ingot Duraline. But I'm not pretty sure about wet brush because that one never worked for me. And the brushes I use for my eyelid are these ones, guys. You see me using these two a lot. This one is from Maybelline. I'm not sure how I got this one. This one is like a flat shading brush. This is like really thick and dense, so it kind of catches a good amount of product. And I also use this one from Body Shop. This is their eyeshadow brush. This is also a flat brush, really dense brush, so it is also going to pick like a good amount of eyeshadow. So I mainly use these two brushes for my eyelid, and sometimes I also use this brush from Faces. This is their concealer brush, but I'm not used to use like a flat brush for concealer. I really like the fluffy ones for concealer, so I use this one for eyeshadow. This is also a really good brush to pack the color on top of your eyelid. And these three brushes I use when I'm working with glitters or pigments, or when I just have to highlight my inner corner. For the glitters and pigments, mostly I use this Zoeva brush. This is 237 Detailed Shader brush. This is like a really flat, thick and dense brush. This is so tiny, you can see. This one works so good to really pack the color on the eyelid. And these two brushes I mostly use it to apply the highlighter in the inner corner. And this one is Ray Techniques Detailer brush. I believe this is a lip brush or something, or a concealer brush. This one is from Body Shop. This is their lip / concealer brush. So these are the brushes mostly I use to pack the color on my eyelid. There are a couple of more brushes which are like no-name brushes. So yeah, even those are like flat shader brushes. Don't worry guys if you didn't catch the name of these brushes in the video. I'm going to leave all the details in the description box so you can check them out later. And also one thing a lot of people do is applying the lid color with a blending brush like this one. If you apply a lid color with this one, it is not going to pack the color. You can definitely use this technique just to get a wash of color, not to pack the color. If you want to use a blending brush to pack the color, it should be something like this. It should be flat and tapered, so it catches the product well, but not as intense as like the flat shader brush which I've shown you before. So this one will do the job, but not well as that one. This is definitely no. If you're going to use this kind of brush to pack the lid color, it is not going to work, guys. It is not going to give you that opaque lid color. In addition to that, you'll end up with like huge amount of fallout. And that reminds me another point, guys. If you have a fallout, I've seen a lot of people, if they have a fallout, they'll directly go with the concealer. Do not go with the concealer directly, guys. First, try and brush off that fallout, dust off that fallout with your powder brush or a fan brush. Try to dust off that and then go with the concealer. That will help you to totally wipe off the fallout. And the last concern is low lash line. I've seen a lot of people just applying the kajal and leaving it like that. Do not ever leave a stark line on your low lash line, guys. It makes everything look more harsh. I personally feel like if you leave a stark line on your lower lash line, I feel like even though you got a full-on eye look, the whole concentration goes only to that point. Like everything is defocused and I can only see your lower lash line. That's it. I'm not sure if it is only with me or if any of you can relate with me, but I really feel that way. So make sure, even though if you're using a kajal, make sure you smudge that with a Q-tip or with a tiny pencil brush, or you can just use your finger to softly smudge it out. Whenever I'm using kajal on my lower lash line and nothing else, I'll just go with the pencil brush and I'll softly smudge that out, and then I'll go with one of these blending brushes and with my compact, and I'll quickly give a wash of powder on under my kajal. This step kind of helps your kajal to stay there and do not drag down to the cheek. So I always use this step whenever I'm only using kajal. But when I'm doing like a full-on eye look and I really want to smoke that lower lash line out, there are like two ways you can do this. The one which I always follow is I'll first apply the dark shade like really close to the lash line. Whichever shade I've used in the crease, like the dark shade, I'll just apply the same dark shade in the lower lash line, and I'll smoke that out with the transition shade. It's as simple as that. And the other way is you can first apply the transition shade and you can really smoke out the lower lash line, and then take a flat brush and apply the dark shade really close to the lashes. So that is pretty much the same, but you have got two ways to do that. So these are the brushes which I mostly use for my lower lash line. This is pencil brush from Colorbar. This one doesn't have any number or name. This just says Colorbar. And this is also from Colorbar. This is really good to pack the color like really close to the lashes. This is an angle brush. I think this one is supposed to be an eyebrow brush, but I use this for my lower lash line to apply the color. And this one is Real Techniques brush. This one is accent brush. This is like a really small one. I also use this one to apply the highlighter in my inner corner as well. And this one is brow brush from Real Techniques. I also use this one for my lower lash line. And I also use this MAC 219 brush which I have showed you for the crease brushes. I also use this to smoke out my lower lash line. Along with those brushes, I also use my blending brushes to really get that diffused look. And that wraps up the video, guys. I hope you find this video helpful. If you want me to do more these kind of basics videos, do let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely answer for you. And do check out the description box for all the brushes and names of them. Do check the description box out. I'm going to leave all the details over there. And yes, if you like this video, give this a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.